There is another legal issue this morning, and it has to do with Michael Cohen. And it has to do with the search warrants and the information that came out yesterday from the SDNY about their case against him, and the fact that they will likely not pursue charges against anyone else having to do with the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. You are fascinated by one exchange. We have evidence here of communication between Michael Cohen and Hope Hicks, right?
And we have actual words. I think this is helpful. I mean, I think, Shan, listen to this. I mean, this is from the federal search warrant, okay? And you hear there were multiple exchanges between Michael Cohen and Hope Hicks, who was, one of the president's top confidants during this time. This is 3 days before the election. We now know how hard they were trying to keep this information about the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal away from voters, because they knew that this would affect how voters felt about Donald Trump. Here is one example. The next morning, on November 5th, 2016, at approximately 7:35 a.m., Michael Cohen texted Hope Hicks, "So far, I see only 6 stories, getting little to no traction." Hicks responded, "Same. Keep praying. It's working." And so, Shan, they knew that voters would be interested in this information. Why doesn't this run afoul of the federal election campaign law?
Oh, I think it does. I think while we may hear the president's team, if they address it, say this is big vindication, there are no further charges of anyone in his organization, I think at the end of the day, the criminal culpability rests squarely where it started, where Michael Cohen placed it, on Trump's shoulders. I think the nexus of the timing of these calls and the texts make it crystal clear who's directing it. I think it calls into legitimate question whether Hicks was really being truthful or not. But that defense is tried and true. I don't recall, a little bit confused in the dates, so probably not enough to charge her, but certainly calls into question whether she was testifying truthfully about not recollecting certain details.
And the House Judiciary Committee wants her back. They want her to answer new questions about her testimony to them. We'll find out if she's telling the truth. And again, there are phone calls between President Trump and Michael Cohen, or then candidate Trump and Michael Cohen, all kinds of phone calls around the time that this deal was made that just go to the idea or the proof that the president was lying when he told America, as president, by the way, that he had nothing to do or no knowledge of these payments. Let's just play that one more time.
President, did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No.
Why did Michael Cohen make this if there was no truth to allegations?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's an attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael Cohen.
Do you know where he got the money to make that payment?
I don't know. No.
He did know, Errol. All the evidence is he knew. There's all these phone calls. There are the checks. There's Michael Cohen's testimony. The evidence says the president was lying to the American people.
That's right. I mean, look, frankly, you can see it in his demeanor, right, in the clip that you just showed. You look at it and you say, that guy's not telling the truth. The president has lied to the American people. That, by the way, is an impeachable offense. I mean, you look at the list of particulars in past impeachments, it includes misleading the public in this way. So we now have somebody who's sitting in prison who has said over and over again, and who in fact has recordings to back him up, Michael Cohen, sort of saying this was all done at the behest of, in collaboration with, and for the benefit of Donald Trump. It's one more additional piece of information that people now have about something that, I think we all recognize now, which is that there was a lot of untruths told about everything related to the Stormy Daniels case.
Caitlin, very quickly, we just have to end on what a crazy and historic week it has been, starting with the racist tweet from President Trump, working itself up to a crescendo of anti-American chants at his political rally from the crowd of "Send her back," about 4 Americans, obviously congresswomen of color. And I guess that the most interesting part of all of this is just how many Republicans behind the scenes, we now know, from Vice President Mike Pence, allegedly, to Ivanka Trump, to members of Congress, were quite uncomfortable and somehow got President Trump to attempt to backtrack or claim that he's disavowing this.
Yeah, because they realized the controversy that was coming out of seeing that chant, where the president did not encourage the chant to stop happening, as he claimed later in the Oval Office. And so, of course, Mike Pence was hearing an earful from Republicans. The president's allies were calling his daughter and people in the White House, urging him to back off that chant. And that's why you saw the president try to make that comment. But, of course, the video shows that the president's actions were actually not what he said they were. And it really goes back to even watching that Michael Cohen video where the president is saying he didn't know about those payments. And then later, of course, it shows that he did.
I appreciate you saying, by the way, attempt to distance himself or attempt to disavow, because it's not. I mean,
We have the video. I mean, the video tells the story. Everybody can see it with their own eyes.
it is what it is. Errol Lewis, Shan Wu, Caitlin Collins, thank you very much.